What is going on, everybody? I hope you guys had a great 2 weeks off since the last time we've seen you guys. I'm Scott Cole. That's Jenna Chavez. We're here to talk to you guys about some Avalanche hockey. It's been a pretty awesome 2 weeks for the Avs. The Avs have gone 5-1-0 over their last 2 weeks, and they've had some pretty fantastic games. Before we get into that, if you guys are following us on Facebook and checking out the show, please allow permissions on Facebook. Otherwise, we don't know who we're talking to. If you're joining us on YouTube, welcome. It's great to have some people on and talk some Avalanche hockey. Jenna, how's the new setup? How was Thanksgiving?
It's good. I'm currently chilling on the floor with no internet, but internet's coming Friday, and we're getting there. So
that is always something that is rough to do, is figure out internet and whatnot. I had that issue when I moved too.
Moving is so much. It's for the birds.
You got your own place though. It's awesome.
I know.
Nice to see you. Congrats.
No more doing the podcast from my car.
Hey, it's nice to see something else sometimes, and I'm pretty sure
right. Change scenery.
All my stuff's in one space, so it is what it is.
Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
I had a great Thanksgiving. I went out and saw my grandfather, saw
nice.
grandparents and everybody. The aunt, uncle, my dad, stepmom, and the cousins. So it was a great time. We didn't cook anything, Not many people know my grandfather has been battling cancer for the last couple of years. But it was great to spend time with the family. He was awake the entire time, enjoyed the meal. We had a great conversation. I think at one point we were talking about some people were talking about my grandfather when he used to go hunting and hunting pheasants, and my stepmother said something, and she was like, "Oh, hunting peasants." So it got a little weird. We all had a great laugh.
You went down a dark little rabbit hole, didn't you?
It was a joke. It was a misstep, but it was all fun. But the Avs were absolute fire over these last 2 weeks.
Wins. Those chemistry issues seem to have leveled out, and I got nervous after Mackinnon went down because I was like, oh gosh, because he was getting top line minutes.
That was definitely huge. Losing Arturi Mackinnon, who recently, or it was reported, had been in a neck brace for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
He was, I think it was their last game against Tampa Bay. He showed up at the facility without the neck brace. So he's back with the team. We're seeing some forward momentum. He's looking better and better. I still think he's a few weeks out from on-ice activities, but the neck brace is off. He's able to move it. He's doing well. That's the recovery part of it.
Exactly.
You guys can see our ticker across the bottom. The Avs had some decent wins. Last time we spoke, that 6-3 win against Dallas on the road was fantastic to see.
Yeah.
A revenge game for a number of Avalanche players. I don't know if Yoel Kiviranta played that game, but I know Frederick Olofsson did.
Yeah.
And fantastic to see. You go on, you take on a division rival and dominate the game.
Yeah, they played good hockey that game.
You had in that game, we had, if it would pull it up, my thing's being slow. You had Miles Wood get his third goal of the season. Ryan Johansson get his sixth goal of the season.
Johansson is on a tear.
He's on a tear. The next person with an unassisted goal in that game, his sixth of the season, was Valeri Nichuskin.
Yeah, apparently someone just doesn't do good when their wife is pregnant. That stress and sympathy 100%. Way was just not good.
It seems like there's been a magic button that's been pressed since the birth of his daughter.
Yeah.
He's been on an absolute tear with 8 goals in the last 9 games.
Mm-hmm.
Mikko Rantanen had a goal, Cogliano had a goal, and Ross Colton had a goal. So you're starting to see the scoring prowess of this Colorado Avalanche team after that rough start where, they lost 3 games with shutouts.
Yeah.
Fantastic to see.
Yeah.
The one hiccup we saw in the last 6 games was the Avs fought back in Nashville. They fought. The issue we had in that game was they got it to 3-2. They had the lead, and they put up a goal in the last 60 seconds of the game.
Yeah.
I think there was like 48 to 40 seconds left when the Predators tied it up. And I've seen this happen not only to the Avalanche, but I've seen it happen with other teams. They're so close to the end of that third period. And, all right, man, we're just going to take the point.
They let up
it's been a tough battle and everything else. So we're gonna ease into it. We're just gonna pass the puck away, let the clock run out, and take it. Nashville said, "Screw that."
Yeah,
they brought the pressure. They got to, Cale Makar mishandled the puck. The Avs weren't
unusual for him
in their own defensive end, which is it's a bad look. And I'm pretty sure, and I know Jared Bednar tore into him. He's like, "Look, guys, we got to play a full 60 minutes. You guys can't play a full 60 minutes for us. Doors that way."
Exit.
So I think that was a big wake-up call. On top of that game, they had a week prior to that where they lost 8-2 to St. Louis.
Yeah.
2 big Saturday games, 2 big lessons taken from both those games. The game against St. Louis on the 11th, it was you guys didn't play. You guys gave up. You guys stopped playing. You got to play the full 60. You got to play your position. Don't go above and beyond. And we've seen a lot of the skaters start to stick to that routine, and it's led to what we saw this past week, which was some dominant performances, especially with that first back-to-back series. They played really well.
Yes, which I was nervous about the back-to-back series.
It helps that Minnesota was in the midst of a losing streak.
Yeah.
And Calgary has some internal issues right now with players.
Calgary has some massive internal issues. Zadorov has requested a trade.
Nikita Zadorov, former defenseman for the Avs.
Kadri was not happy last year.
Well, I mean, Kadri last year went there and they were supposed to grow last year,
and they regressed
2 years prior, and it looks like they regressed. And now Kadri has come out and said, "I don't want to be part of a rebuild. I want to be on a competing team." And I don't know I don't know what's going on there, but Calgary has some issues to address, and we'll see what happens there. But lost to Nashville. You beat Vancouver at home 5-2. That was a pretty sound game. That was pretty sound beating they gave
it was.
That game. I mean, you went 1 for 4 on the power play, which is all right. But Larry Nichuskin had a power play go. Jonathan Drouin got another goal. Riley Tufte, Cale Makar, and Mikko had a goal.
I feel like Drouin's starting to do what we were hoping he'd do once they took him down to a lower line, and he's starting to get that confidence because he's looking a lot better on the ice.
He's looking a lot better. I mean, it's interesting. Looking at the box score for that game, Drouin's goal came with assist by Cale Makar and Bowen Byram, which to me speaks that he was probably on the ice with, I believe he was on the ice with Makar or with Rantanen and Mackinnon at the time.
He was.
And on top of that, I'll dive into this. They had an optional skate yesterday, and only 2 people showed up. That was Nathan MacKinnon and Jonathan Drouin. So they're trying to build that chemistry. They're friends. They've been friends since their time with the Halifax Mooseheads. So they're trying to build that chemistry. They're trying to get things figured out, and I think that shows that Jonathan Drouin is committed to what the Avs are trying to do for him and trying to help him do, but he realizes he's got to put that work in, which it looks to be working. So I'm hoping for the best there, and hopefully something will come of it. But the biggest thing, the biggest concern that any hockey fan has is when their team is playing on back-to-back nights without much rest.
Right.
The Avs, I think, did a fantastic job with it. You had last Friday's
Yeah.
game. You were in Minnesota taking on the Minnesota Wild, and the Avs went with Alexander Georgiev against the Minnesota Wild. He had allowed 2 goals, but had 21 saves, 9.905 save percentage, and got the win. Gave up less than 3 goals, which is what we want to see from our starting goaltender.
Yeah.
Then the following night, the Avs came back home, and the Calgary Flames were in town. And the big question was, with Georgiev only facing 21 shots on goal Friday night, would you start him in back-to-back game, or would you let Ivan Prosvetov step in and play? And they went that way. Prosvetov got the start in net and looked fantastic.
He looked amazing.
1 goal, 36 on 30 shots, a 9.67 save percentage. He gets his, I believe that's his
second win for us.
Win. Yeah, 2 wins. He's got a 235 goals against average and a 919 save percentage. So, I mean,
2 wins and 2 starts.
3. I think he said 3 starts.
3 starts?
I think. I'm not sure.
I
was looking at things. I'm like, I'm not sure.
Something like that.
But I think he's had at least 2. I think he's been in net 3 times, but I think he's only gotten 2 wins. I'm not a big fan of this new Colorado Avalanche app. I think the NHL app might have something more specific that I can read.
Yeah, there's discrepancies
all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely all over the place. So I'll have to find that stat for you guys here in a second. I got it somewhere. It's just difficult to find sometimes. Yeah, he's got 3 starts.
Okay, 3 starts, 2 wins.
2 wins, 1 loss. Yeah.
Who was the loss against?
I don't know.
I can't remember now.
I think it came against
St. Louis. Was a win.
The loss was against Seattle.
Seattle.
So that was the loss. And then this game was interesting because Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay just got Andrei Vasilevsky back after his back injury and whatnot.
Right.
He was on the IR to start the season for the Tampa Bay Lightning, and I think this was his 2nd game back.
Something like that. It's early.
He did not look 100%, and the Avs took advantage of that and put up 4 goals.
They looked good.
Put up 4 goals, a 4-1 win, and like you said, they looked great. Total of 23 shots on goal, which is low for what the Avs are. You want the Avs.
Yeah.
And, but again, Ryan Johansson got a goal. Or 2 goals. He got 2 goals.
He got 2 goals that game.
And Mikhail Makar got a goal, and then Valeri Nichuskin finished it off in the fourth.
And Makar had 1 or 2 assists in that game too?
Makar had one goal, 1 assist in this game.
Okay.
For his, I've lost count how many 2-point games he's had, but the guy is cruising.
Oh, let's see. He had 1 goal, 1 assist, 3 assists in Nashville, 1 goal, 1 assist versus Vancouver, 1 assist versus Calgary, and 1 goal and 1 assist versus Tampa Bay.
He's killing it.
Yeah.
He is absolutely killing it.
He actually is depending on how tomorrow night goes and how he plays, he could either tie or break a record that has stood since 1983 when we were still the Nordiques for the most assists in a single month by a defenseman at 21. Set in 1983.
And that's across the league, across the NHL, or just a franchise record?
That's just a franchise record.
Okay.
I think he set an NHL record the other night against Tampa Bay for that.
I think he was the fastest to 200 assists.
It was something. He's
The other
set
night,
records every night.
Yeah,
I can't keep up.
I 100% believe he was the fastest to 200 assists.
Oh, it's most assists in the month of November in the history of the NHL with 20.
Gotcha. So he's crushing it.
Yeah.
But we'll get to Cale Makar a little bit more, but I want to focus on some news that people were worried about, and that was Nathan Mackinnon. He had a 7-game goal drought from the 11th of November to the 24th. But in that same amount of time,
he had 10
assists across those games. And you had I've seen some people voice their concerns as like, oh, McKinnon's hurt and he's trying to pass it too much, and he's, this is all going on. People are used to McKinnon being 100 point or 100 plus point guy. Yeah. He did that. He accomplished that feat last year with 111 points, the first time in his career. He's had some close calls. 2017, 2018, he had 97 points. The following year, 99. The 2019-2020 year, which was the COVID year, he had 93 points. He was on pace to like
100. It was
to be like 120 plus.
Yeah.
There was 13 games that they didn't get to play.
Yeah.
But last year, 71 games, which is, he had that injury to start the year. Had 111 points, 42 goals, 69 assists. His scoring prowess seems to be down a little bit today, but he's still got 28 points right now. 28 points. We're a quarter way through. If you multiply that out by 4, you're still looking at 100 and what is that? 100 and 108 points.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah,
you still got, or 109, something like that. 106, something like that. My math's not completely there.
I don't know why everybody's freaking out about it. If he wasn't producing any points during the game, that would be cause for concern. But he's notorious for, he's not the type of player that holds on to the puck and gets the goal every play. He passes.
I think we're seeing more of the leadership potential.
A little bit
coming from Nathan MacKinnon. I mean, before this, the issue was Valeri Nichuskin, Jonathan Drought, Ryan Johansson. They're not scoring the way we want. They're not putting the puck on net. And I think it all goes back to people were trying to play above and beyond what they should have been. So I think now that we're playing a little more Avs style hockey, and yes, I get it. I'm one of those people too. Shoot the puck, put the puck on net. Stop passing it so much. But what they're looking for those opportunities, and they're not looking for the clean shot on net. Sometimes they are, but I mean, you've got probably one of the greatest shooters on the blue line in Cale Makar, who just there's 5 people between me and the goalie. All right, no worries. I got this. I'm just gonna shoot
Don't
it
worry, guys.
spot, like right there, and then it goes. So he's doing a great job, and we're starting to see Valeri Nichuskin and Jonathan Drought play on that top line. And
have you noticed stuff that Choo has started to master the tip in?
Yeah. He must be texting with Landis.
And Landy and him must be like zooming or doing something because he's looking very Landy-esque in the crease.
I mean, he's got that big body, that big build, the same build that Gabriel Landis.
He's throwing a great screen too when he does it.
It's working. I think at least 4 or 5 of his last 6, 8 goals have been tipping.
I think you're right.
It's fantastic to see. I mean, that's the kind of stuff you need from the Avs. You guys want to win games. You want to be dominant. That's what you need to do. And McKinnon's part of that process. Passing the puck, feeding it to other people. 10 assists. I don't care how you get your points. It
Just
all
get them.
counts on the stat sheet. It all
Yeah.
means that we're putting the puck in the net, we're scoring
Yep.
goals, we have better chances to win the games. That's all I
Exactly.
want from this team, and that's what we're getting. So, yes, his goal scoring prowess might be down this season, but that's not necessarily a bad thing for the Avalanche, as his scoring prowess being down means we're passing the puck, other people are getting
Other people are
opportunities, and
scoring,
they are gelling as a team.
which
That's
had
all
us
we need.
super worried 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago, maybe a different story. Now,
Yeah.
not so much. I'm
That's what.
okay. Let's just take it for what it is. Relax. Everybody chill. Everything's cool. Everything's good. Guys, come on. Thanksgiving was just last week. Be thankful. The Avs are sitting in the first place in the Central Division. Nothing to worry about. Chill.
I do wish that we'd stay out of the box a little bit more.
Yeah. I do wish we'd stay out of the box a little bit more, but
And Mr. Byram is tied for second with minor penalties
on the Avs or across the NHL?
across the NHL.
There's no way he's tied with people across the NHL, especially after that fiasco between Florida and Ottawa.
Right? You'd think not, but no, he is tied for second in minor penalties.
How many penalties is he at right now?
I don't know. I just know that he has been in the box 4 games in a row. Yeah. Enough to be tied for second.
Yeah, I'm trying to find this information here.
Yeah, I can't. I'm down to one device. I can't look it up.
He's got 1, 2,
but I know
3,
it's 4, a lot.
5, 6, 7,
he had 3 delay of game penalties
10, 11,
in the
12,
last
13,
week.
14, 15. This dude has 15 penalties.
Yeah.
He's had 15 penalties called on him. That's ridiculous.
Well, he had 4 delayed games in a row?
Yeah, he's got 12 penalty minutes in the last 8 games. So
yeah.
He had a penalty against Vancouver, which I think was the delay game. He had 2 penalties against Minnesota. One was a delay game. And then a penalty against Calgary and 2 more against Tampa Bay. Or no, so I think it was Minnesota,
Calgary was slashing. Calgary was slashing.
Okay.
He broke some stick.
Yeah, that's Byram, man. Come on, buddy.
Yeah,
I love you.
come on, Bo. Is this kind of a growing pain of not having EJ?
I think so.
I
mean, EJ was
that sounding board for him. Yeah. And he was that, like, they talked a lot on the ice, and EJ coached him on the ice a lot.
I think
this is a growing pain.
I think that's that's super observant. I mean, EJ and Bo Byram have, kind of the same playing style and everything. Yeah. So I think that's somebody that Byram kind of looked to. Girard has been his skating partner.
Right. So then that's the other aspect of it is now he started the season with Sammy G, and now he's in this, like, here's Manson, here's, Yeah,
I think he's splitting time amongst Jones, Johnson, and Manson right now.
Yeah.
Just trying to find that chemistry,
that third pairing.
But I mean, well, that brings up something interesting as well with Bo Byram is, now that we know that Sam Girard has entered the players' assistance program for anxiety, depression, and which led to alcohol abuse and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Maybe the chemistry, maybe the conversation from defensive pairing partner to partner wasn't 100% there. So, but that's speculation on my part. I'm not saying Girard's a terrible skater, terrible veteran, or anything else like that. I'm just saying I've had bouts of depression and anxiety. I'm not a professional hockey player at all, but I mean, there's added pressure just being in the limelight day in and day out for 5-6 months.
Well, and I think that, I mean, think about it. Sam Girard has been in the talks of leading up to the trade
He's
deadline for the last 3 or 4 years. Like,
he's in
that's
the
enough to cause
conversation.
anybody anxiety
He's in the conversation every single year of
every
the trade
year.
deadline.
And I'm
I've
like,
put his
no
name
wonder
out
he has
there.
anxiety.
Yeah, bro. I'm sorry. I did not mean. I didn't know what was going on behind the scenes, man. But
His dad did you see the quote his dad put out saying
yeah,
like he's super appreciative for all the like
yeah.
good they're passing along all of the messages.
Well, it's and it's 100% appreciated. Gerard's dad has
I
been
think that's so cool
part
that the
part of
NHL has
fan
this
group pages
whole
and everything else. Yeah,
program in place.
the
I
program's
thought
amazing. Don't get me
I
wrong.
think
I
a
think the
lot of
program's great.
leagues I think a lot of leagues could implement something similar.
Most leagues have something like this. We
Yeah.
don't hear about them as frequently as
Mm-mm.
we do as you might with the NHL. Um, Baseball, I don't think you hear a whole lot about it, even with how long their season is and everything.
Mm-mm.
Um, Occasionally, you might hear about a football player
Like
entering the
the
players
Rams
program.
quarterback this year,
Yeah,
he took his
with Bennett. Yeah, we
yeah.
heard about it with
But
Bennett.
that's the only thing. But they haven't released the details of things like they had. Like I mean, Sam Gerard released the full details of what he was,
I
and Bennett hasn't released
I
anything.
think I think that is a player's option. The player has
Okay,
the option to
option to
disclose the reason.
disclose or not. Okay,
Otherwise, it is something that's kept private and they don't necessarily have to share. So, um,
good for
yeah.
them.
But anyway, we're gonna get back on track. We were talking about
Sorry.
Nathan Mackinnon. I want to talk about somebody who everybody loves. Everybody brings vegetables for him. That's Cale Makar.
Yes.
Cale Makar, is already an early Norris Trophy candidate in my opinion. And
Have you looked up the numbers
yeah,
for the
32
favorite?
points in the first 21 games of the season, 6 goals,
Yeah.
26 assists. He's currently second amongst defensemen with his 32 points. The only person in front of him is Quinn Hughes with 33. He's got 8 goals and 25 assists.
Him and Hughes always battle
They're
all
they're, about,
season
they're they're
long.
battling back and forth. And Vancouver's credit where credit's due. Vancouver's looked pretty solid this year. But Makar is fourth across the entire league, and is currently on pace for over 100 points this season.
Yeah.
Nikita Kucherov has 37 points, and JT Miller has 35. So you got two Canucks and a Tampa Bay Lightning player behind them. Uh, Others on that points list: David Pastrnak with 31, Artemi Panarin 30, Elias Pettersson, Braden Point, Connor McDavid, and Leon Draisaitl. It's very rare that you see Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl at the bottom of the top. Was it 10, 12 people
Yeah.
list for
Yeah.
points? McDavid and Draisaitl both have 28 points each, but Edmonton Oilers look like they're falling apart at the seams right now. So I that is what it is right there.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at the standings, you've got Edmonton, 8 wins, 12 losses, 1 overtime loss,
Wow.
17 points, 21 games, quarter way through the season. So I who knows what's going on there. Not my team, not my problem.
Yeah, right?
But outside of Quinn Hughes, do you think there's really anybody that can challenge Cale Makar for the Norris Trophy this year?
No, I really don't. Unless something catastrophic happens or he falls off like completely, I think that he will win it handedly this year.
I mean, looking at it, you've got Victor Hedman is a former Norris Trophy winner. He's got 23 points this year.
Yeah.
Let's see. Roman Yossi's got 16 points. I don't think Adam Fox is, only played 10 games
Yeah.
this year. So that's part of it right there. He's got 11 points in 10 games.
Mhm.
So there's some who knows what's going on there.
Right.
Charlie McAvoy's played 17 games. He's got 14 points. Dougie Hamilton's got 16 points. Erik Karlsson was with Pittsburgh now, 18 points.
Right.
So,
and if you're a betting person, he's plus 160 to win, and the next closest person is Adam Fox at plus 700. So I mean, there's that too. If you're into the Vegas scene, there's those numbers that we can throw out there too. Scott.
You're betting a mortgage on Cale Makar to win the
I looked at that number today and I was just like,
I'm still throwing some money on Adam Fox to come back from injury and challenge him. But yeah, that is such a huge gap. Plus 160, plus 700. So just a little over 1.5 odds on your money versus 7-1 odds on your money. That's
crazy.
Incredibly insane. Matt says, "What's up, CSE fam? Let's go."
Hey, Matt.
Thanks for tuning in, Matt. Absolutely love it, man.
To be a quarter of the way through the season and to have the odds on favorite be that high, that's crazy.
Oh yeah, that's just incredibly insane.
Yeah. So I think that unless something crazy happens, I think that he has it.
Yeah, he should, and I think as long as the Avs load manage the days off with rest, recuperation,
which he seems to do a good job of doing.
Yeah, I mean he has to. Still fairly early in his career, and he's had he's had some shoulder injuries. He's
upper
had
body
a concussion and whatnot. So I think they want to take care of somebody who's going to be the future of this team for as long as they possibly can.
Now, I couldn't find any articles to back this up, but maybe you can. But I did see that he didn't practice yesterday, and there was some concern over that.
Yeah. Graham showed me, sent me or tweeted or X'd, whatever you want to call it. I say tweeted, it sounds better. Something from another gentleman, Evan, who covers the Avs, and was talking about this subject as well. And it's one of those things, it's a slow period. The Avs haven't played since Monday. We play tomorrow night. We have a couple days in between games. We're always looking for something. I do it too. I put an article out. Hey, look at this. Should somebody else wear the C or blah blah? I do it too. I'm not saying media people. We report on what we see. We ask the question. We try to get responses from people. I don't think it's a huge deal that Cale Makar didn't practice or anything. It might be what we see on ice. That's what's given to the public. What we don't see is what might be happening behind the scenes. And that's is he watching video? Is he watching tape? Is he with
weight room, massage?
Is he with a physical therapist, getting something worked on, getting something taped? Is he sitting in the tub? Is he,
There's
we don't
so
see
many
what's
things
behind the scenes. There's so many things that happen. And Bednar said that. He's like, guys will come to me, they'll tell me, hey, Matt, hey, coach, I just need to spend the day in the hot tub, and get some of my, these sore muscles worked on. I don't feel like I need to skate today. I'm a little tired, blah, blah, blah. And Coach Bednar has said, all right, cool. If that's what you need to do, you do what you need to do. But, be ready to go the next day.
I think he trusts them to know what they need as long as they show up and play.
Yeah, agreed. And I firmly believe tomorrow, the morning practice tomorrow ahead of the game against Arizona will tell us a lot, because I'm pretty sure the team's getting ready to travel right now down to Arizona to play at Mullet Arena. So we'll see what happens there.
Play in the college arena.
God, man.
It's an embarrassment.
This is one thing you got wrong, NHL, among many other things.
Oh, let's not get started on what the NHL has gotten wrong this season.
Hey, Marc-Andre Fleury, I support your decision, sir.
Yes.
Speaking of
100%.
goalies,
Yeah.
Alexander Georgiev leads the league with 13 wins. He's got a 13-5-0 record. Save percentage isn't there, and I want to see those goals against average come down.
Yeah.
The goals against average and the save percentages comes from those shutouts. You know, he had a string of games where he's given up, 3-4 goals a game.
When he stays in the crease, that's when he's solid. If they are able to bring him out of the crease even a little bit, I feel like it's just trouble.
It's definitely a tough position, goalies.
But he has a crazy good crease percentage.
Yeah. Goalies have their crease area, and we want to see our goalies stay there as much as possible. There are a few times you see a goalie come out of that crease to challenge a player and everything like that, and that's because they want to take up as much space as possible, and they want to cut off the angles. You don't back up into your net because you give away more space.
Right.
Lesson I learned the hard way. But it's definitely fun to see.
Yeah.
I think Georgiev's going to get back. The issue we had, with that rough patch in the early part of the season, 3 of those losses being shutouts, and not facing a ton of shots on those shutouts, is what's led to the low save percentage and the high goals against average. But I firmly believe Georgiev, with the way the Avs are playing right now, if they continue to play this way, is going to be great. Is going to get back into that Vezina candidate type form that I wrote about early in the season. I firmly believe he's able to get there. Like I said, he leads the league in wins right now with 13 goals. He's let in the third most goals, but Jonas Johansson, who former Avalanche, was the backup goaltender in Tampa Bay, has given up 61 goals. Now Vasilevsky's back. Johansson, who's a backup goaltender, will get some rest, not play as often, not play as frequently. And Mackenzie Blackwood for the San Jose Sharks, he's just on a bad team, 51 goals. So I think in the next month of hockey through December, I'm going to put this out there, and I'm going to write it down. I'm going to write it down on my notepad here. That way we can look at it come the new year. I'm going to write it on this brand new piece right here.
Okay.
I think Alexander Georgiev will go from the third most goals allowed in the NHL, will drop out of the top 10.
Top 10.
By the beginning of January 2024.
Okay.
That is my put it on the board bet. That Georgiev will be out of the top 10 in goals allowed by the time January 1st, 2024 comes around. His save percentage is terrible. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
He's in goalies who have played a game right now, he sits 43rd in save percentage.
Yeah.
And he sits, let's see, where is he? 33rd in goals against, or goals allowed per game. So not great stats, but I think he can get back. The Avs have finally figured out their identity. A lot of players are starting to play their positions well.
Some of those high-scoring games were when we were having all those chemistry issues, and the defense kind of hung him out to dry for some of those goals.
Exactly.
So I don't blame him for that, all of those stats, because there were those games where we were out of sync, and he had way too much pressure on him, and he didn't have a chance.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And I honestly feel that the Avs will bounce back. And they have bounced back in some areas.
Yeah.
For example, the penalty kill.
5th in the NHL.
Fourth
What?
in
Oh,
the
is it fourth
NHL with
now?
an 88% success rate right now.
Okay.
The last 6 games, they've only given up 2 goals out of 23 attempts. This
And
penalty
Tampa
kill,
Bay came in with, I think they had the second best power play in the NHL coming into the game against us. And
yeah.
I don't think did we allow any power play goals? I don't remember. Maybe one.
I think we gave up 1.
One. I think one towards the
But
end of
yeah,
this. But
the
yeah.
Avs or the Tampa Bay Lightning. You're right; they have the second best power play in the NHL right now. They're connecting with the back of the net at a 32.5% rate on the power play. The New Jersey
And they were
Devils.
they were on the power play twice within the first 10 minutes of the game.
No, they did not give up a power
They
play.
did not. I didn't think so. I was like,
Tampa Bay went 0 for 3. I
yeah.
believe they gave one up either to Calgary or
Calgary.
Minnesota.
I think Calgary got a power play goal.
No, wasn't. So it must have been
No?
Minnesota. I know they gave up one in one of these last couple games.
Yeah.
But it looks like it was Minnesota.
Okay.
Minnesota got a power play goal. Eriksson Ek during the second period.
Oh yeah.
Minnesota. So
that was probably on Bo Byram's delayed game.
Hey, it might have been. Who knows? But it's
the power play, the penalty kill.
Penalty kills killing it. I mean, you the way they're playing in front of Georgiev or Prosvetov, whoever's in net is just phenomenal. And there's been a few times where I see the opposing team send down their fifth player to like sit in front of our goalie and kind of wait for that like cross ice pass to just tip it in or whatnot. But you usually see that bottom diamond defender move over and kind of push that person out of the way.
Yeah.
And they're clogging up lanes as best as they possibly can. They're not giving the opportunity. And if the Avs see they have the opportunity to break out or to capitalize on clearing the puck, they're taking every opportunity. We're not seeing a lot of those early season issues where they're just like throw it across center ice, just to kind of clear it out, and get intercepted or whatnot. They're protecting the puck in their defensive zone, which is what they need to do. But at times, and these times are very minimal, kind of like the end of the Nashville game, they're tired, they're worn out, they're not able to clear the puck as well as they want to. And as much as those people are as well as you are defending, you still occasionally give up a goal.
Yeah.
And I think that's that we see with the Avs sometimes. But
but it usually happens when they've been out there for like way too long. Like I think the other night it happened when Rantanen was on like a 2.5 minute shift.
Yeah, the Nashville game, I think
crazy numbers. I was like, what are you doing?
Out there for like a solid minute and a half, almost 2 minutes when they finally get the goal. It was they just could not get out of the defensive zone. As far as the power play prowess of the Avalanche, 19.8%. I don't like it. I don't like it either. That is 18th best in the league right now at 19.8%. It's
Bernard, can we please change up our power play plan and I don't know, not do the whole drop back to Mackinnon nonsense?
I get why they do that.
I do too, but just try something new.
I get why they do that, but the issue I see with it is not necessarily when they pass the puck back to Makar or Mackinnon to skate into the zone with their speed. Excuse me. Is the Avs try to utilize their speed to draw additional penalties, and granted, I get that, but I want to see them set up in the zone. I want to see you set up in the zone, put pucks on net, and if it means changing things up just the tiniest bit, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Plus, I feel like in the NHL, if you're already on a penalty, they don't hand out other penalties. It has to be a pretty blatant.
Yeah. That's the one
penalty
thing
for
I've never appreciated about the NHL is
they do not like if
you've
they
already
can be
given me
a
7 penalties today. We
yeah
got to keep it fair.
we
No,
can't
man.
give you any more.
If it's a penalty, it's a penalty. Call it.
Yeah.
You know, don't try to even out and control, and keep the game as even. If a team's just playing sloppy hockey and they keep tripping your guys or slashing or whatever or hooking them,
Then
call it.
put them in the box.
It is what it is, and I get it. Refs, home-based fans for every team in the league are a bunch of animals sometimes. I get it,
Yeah.
especially if the calls are going against your team. You're not going to like it, and you're going to hear it from the fans.
Nobody wants to hear 80,000 people chant, "Refs, you suck."
No, I wouldn't want to as a ref.
I wouldn't want to.
I'm like, blatant, call it. I get that there's a little bit of gray area when if you're looking at something else and don't see it, but I'm like, some of the calls that we've seen that have been called, or haven't been called have been kind of iffy, but it is what it is. The Avs have their last game of the month tomorrow night against the Arizona Coyotes. And then we head into December.
Yeah.
We have a three-game road trip starting tomorrow night. Arizona, Anaheim, Los Angeles over the next 3 games.
And that's Anaheim and LA's a back-to-back.
Yep, Anaheim, LA, Saturday, Sunday, folks. So be prepared for that. We have 2 back-to-back series this month. This is the first of the 2. I think there's another 2 weeks before we have our next one.
Yeah.
But the Avs will definitely be looking to keep the ball rolling. We're on a pretty solid win streak. You have some winnable games coming up. Arizona,
absolutely winnable game.
Arizona's one of those teams, though. I would not sleep on this team.
No.
They've got some talent. They've got some players who are up and comers. So I would not sleep on them. Logan Cooley is 3rd in rookies, the rookie race. He's got 13 points on the season, behind Luke Hughes and Connor Bedard, who's just tearing things up for the Chicago Blackhawks.
Connor Bedard not to tear things up.
Yeah. He doesn't have to worry about Corey Perry anymore. So
nobody does. Hopefully.
I don't think Corey Perry is going to play another game in the NHL for.
I would be shocked if somebody.
But I would not sleep on the Arizona Coyotes. This is a team that the Avs kind of, the Avs do it sometimes. They play down to their competition.
I was going to say, we play down to them sometimes, and I don't like it.
So I don't want them to do that. Anaheim, and Los Angeles, again, are 2 teams that you shouldn't sleep on either. Yes, they are rebuilding type teams. They do have some injury bugs going on. LA is
13-3-3. That's not terrible.
Yeah, 13-3-3. You got a solid win against them in LA to start the season.
Yeah,
I think this is the second of, or maybe it's the last matchup.
I think this is the last matchup against LA this year, but I could be wrong. Or do they come here?
No, it is the second of 3 matchups.
Of 3, they come here.
October 11th. We play them Saturday, and then our next matchup with LA isn't until they come to visit us at Ball Arena January 26th in 2024. So, second of 3 matchups against one of our fellow Western Conference foes from the Pacific Division. So, hopefully we'll go into LA. We beat them pretty soundly again. I'll take another 5-2 win against LA.
Do you think we see, I cannot say our backup goalie's last name yet. I'm still learning it. Do you think we see
Prosvetov?
Do you think we see him Sunday?
Sunday, it's a possibility we see him Sunday. I think ultimately.
Or would we put him in against Anaheim and then save Girard for Sunday?
I would probably go that route. I would probably save Girard for the
LA Kings.
For LA, considering Anaheim is 6th with a 9-13-0 record.
Yeah.
So I I would probably put Prosvetov in for the Anaheim game and then
That
save
game.
Georgiev for the second game. So the
Georgiev and
Arizona
his
game
flat
tomorrow
new
night,
haircut.
everybody, is at 7 p.m. on altitude. The game on December 2nd, which is Saturday against Anaheim, is an 8 p.m. game. Yes, it's a late game, but we're on the West Coast. It happens. Got to take the good with the bad.
Deal with
And
it.
that's on altitude 2, which means the Nuggets are on altitude
1.
Exactly, because the Nuggets are playing a game. Got to trade off the Avs on Monday night were on altitude while the Nuggets played on the secondary channel with their basketball matchup. Jokic didn't play and everything, so but they still got the win. Hey,
thank goodness,
it's awesome.
They're getting better wins on the road.
Yeah, December 3rd, we are in LA, as we were just talking about, 6 p.m. on altitude. Quick turnaround for from Anaheim to Los Angeles, so that's going to be interesting. But like I said, they'll probably set them all out. Anaheim, this is the second of the 3 matchups against them as well, and then we turn around and we'll play them at home on December 5th.
Yep,
and that'll be the final matchup with the Anaheim Ducks for this season. That home game is at 7 p.m. on altitude and is the start of a 5-game homestand.
Which Randy is hopefully going to be joining the team.
Yes, that is what we have heard. Gabriel Landeskog is planning to visit during the 5-game homestand that the Avalanche have coming up. And hopefully, some moral support, whatever. And hopefully, maybe Coach Bednar will have an update on Landeskog's knee cartilage transplant recovery, how that process is going, if he's gotten clearance from his doctors to skate or anything else like that. We'll have some more information with that coming up, whether you hear it from myself, from Jenna on Colorado Sports Connection, if you hear it from me on Mile High Sticking or somebody on Mile High Sticking about what the plan is with Gabriel Landeskog coming up. I can tell you for certain, do not expect Gabriel Landeskog to skate during the regular season. That's already been ruled out. He's not going to be skating during the regular season. We are just curious if Landeskog has been cleared to start his skating therapy. His skating rehab. If he has been cleared to lace up, get on the ice, and start skating as part of his rehab. Outside of that, there's nothing else. I would be happy if he was on a treadmill with skates, just trying to get the motion down, because the knees are what takes majority of the grunt work when it comes to skating, pushing up, stopping, turning, crossing over, everything.
So I have a question for you, Scott. I want your opinion.
Okay.
What is so I've been seeing, and the reason I'm asking is because I've been seeing on a lot of Avs, like Facebook pages and stuff, this week about Landy getting some criticism for not being with the team full time and being in Toronto doing his rehab. What are your thoughts and feelings on him being away from the team?
So let's go back to a season ago when Landeskog was with the team during his injury and his, attempting to get things cleared up and get back on the ice. Landeskog did everything he possibly could with the goal of getting back on the ice sooner rather than later. If you went to the opening ceremony where the Avs raised their banner and everything, Landeskog was in uniform with skates on, out there on the ice during, player announcements and everything for their opening day roster. And then immediately went to the dressing room afterwards, did not skate, was not part of the game, did not play at all.
Yeah.
So he worked on rehab. We had will he be back in time? Will he skate? Will he contribute? And then time continued to push on. Christmas came and went. Trade deadline. Will you put him on long-term IR? Go get somebody. That didn't happen because they thought he was going to come back.
Yeah.
And just setback after setback after setback. This year, and with that uncertainty in Landeskog's life with his injury, was he going to come back and everything? I think the thing we all take for granted is what happens behind the scenes, what happens away from the ice.
Mm-hmm.
With his wife, his daughter, his second daughter being born and everything. How much of a toll it takes on them, because his wife's family is based out of Toronto.
Right, that's their home. That's their home base.
That's where
their support system is.
That's where their support system is. So the animosity from fans and some other people about Landeskog not being around the team and not being the captain and everything, it is what it is. But it's not all on Landeskog. There are 25 people on an NHL roster. You have two assistant captains. In this case, the Avs have 3. You have other leaders in this room. Yeah. And it's on them to step up in that absence, because if you're the coach of a team, you're a GM of a team, whatever the case may be, yes, you may have your captain, and your goal is to have that captain for the entirety of his career or for a good portion of it, 10, 12 years, whatever. That's your bread and butter of your team, your captain. But you're also going to surround your captain with like-minded talent. Like-minded individuals are going to be with your team for an extended period of time, and you want somebody else to be able to pick up that captain's responsibility at any given point in time.
Right.
Because somebody could retire, an injury could occur that forces them to retire, or force them to miss an extended period of time. Landeskog is a great captain, and
he's amazing.
What he does on and off ice for this team is phenomenal. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how the team performs with him.
Here.
He may not be here for all 5 games. He may only be here for 3 games.
3 games.
That's okay. I'm okay with that. But him being away from the team this year and not being a distraction as much as he was last year, I think is good overall for the team.
I think it's good for everyone.
Yeah, it's good for the team. It's good for Landeskog. It's good for his wife and his family. He gets to spend some quality time with his daughters during this time period, which normally doesn't happen.
Right.
So,
and I think that being the captain on a hockey team, there's only so much you can do leadership-wise when you can't be on the ice.
Yeah.
That I don't see why people are criticizing him so much.
I mean, it's the same thing you look at in any position. If you were in a management position, or if you were in a team leader position or something else like that, is you can only talk the talk so much. At some point, you got to walk the walk. And right now, Landeskog can't do that.
And I think that he feels that he's doing what's best for the team by being away. And letting the alternate captains be the captains.
Yeah, 100%. It's a scary thought, and it's a terrible, to be there. Like, well, he can't be the captain if he's not here. That's true, but I guarantee you, if you go through his phone, you go through my phone, he has a contact with every single person. Yeah, he has a text message group with a lot of people.
It's not like he's just radio silent with them.
No, he's talking to these guys on a regular basis, and I fully expected him to do this.
Yeah.
But I think it's better for him not to be the distraction that he was last year for this team. And I think it's great. They've got their 5-game homestand right here. I guarantee he'll probably be present for majority of it. I think there's another 5-game homestand, either late January
or February,
or some middle February. I'd have to look at it. I saw it earlier, but the Avs have 2 separate 5-game homestands. I think those are their longest homestands on the season. So Landeskog is going to be present for both. And then, as they start ramping up for playoff and everything else like that, and they make it to the playoffs, I think you'll see more of Landeskog around the team, in the press box and everything with Sakic and everything. So let him be away from the team. Let him enjoy his time with his family. Let him Let him enjoy the
Let him
support he's
heal
getting.
and rehab, and yeah.
It's all right. Plain and simple, guys. Look at it this way. When you're sad, you're in the hospital, especially when children are in the hospital. What do these hospitals do? They bring in puppies. They bring in these great things that are, promote dopamine levels and happiness and everything else like that, and allow a happy person is more likely to recover well than somebody who is depressed about their injury or their illness or whatever else. And I'm looking at it this way: Landeskog's around his wife, his daughters, his family. And he's able to check on the team and everything, but he gets to spend quality time with his daughters that he doesn't normally get to do during the season. Yes, hockey does a great job, one of the best jobs across sports as far as allowing teams to have a Christmas break, a Thanksgiving break, all this other stuff, so they can spend the holidays with their families. Hockey
and I love the parent trips, like Tampa Bay. This trip, it was the dad.
All the teams do these parent trips. These
so fun.
These trip, moms come out for a trip, dads come out for a trip, and stuff like that. The NHL is great at being a family-oriented business, but it's rare that any player in the NHL gets to spend this amount of time with their family during the NHL season. Mm-hmm. So let him take advantage of it.
I'm all for it.
I'd rather have him 100% focused and healed and ready to go when he's able to come back, instead of him trying to split time between both things.
Yep.
This gives other players the opportunity to step up into that captain-like role and show the Avs organization what they are capable of doing. In case Landeskog isn't able to come back,
in case
they can move on to another captain. I hate talking about the potential of the Avs moving on to another captain, but that is something that's going to be in the back of everybody's minds for the entire
It's already being talked about,
and even the next offseason. We don't know when Landeskog's coming back, but the Avs have to evaluate and assess people right now in case that possibility occurs.
Yeah, worst case scenario.
All right, guys. That's pretty much going to do it for tonight's show. Thank you guys for tuning in with us and enjoying everything. We really enjoyed talking to you guys. I missed you guys last week. We all celebrated Thanksgiving, but that's what we're all going to be about. But we will be back next Wednesday to talk to you guys. 6 p.m. is our start time. We'll talk some more hockey. We'll check in on these 3 games and get ready for the Avs 5-game homestand. Hopefully we'll have more at that time. But until then, for myself, Scott Cole, and Jenna Chavez, thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you guys on our next